You are watching William Paterson University Television.
Welcome back to the desk. Joining me for Pioneer Football is Justin, and Chris. But first, we take a look at Pioneer Volleyball with Jesse Norman.
Last night, the Pioneers traveled to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn to play against the Cannoneers in a non-conference matchup. The Pioneers would go on to win their very first 2 sets versus the Cannoneers, only to be met with a big response in the 3rd set after losing a 22-19 lead. In the 4th set, the Pioneers would show that they were truly the better team, closing out Pratt Institute 25-14. Amanda Lembo led the Pioneers in kills last night with a total of 9. The junior from North Haledon now has 147 on the season, one of 4 Pioneers to have kills in the triple digits. The player of the night, though, had to be Christine Griffith. Christine had 7 kills, 7 aces, and 4 blocks versus the Cannoneers, truly showing her versatility. She is second on the team in kills, totaling at 175, and first in points scored at 245. The Pioneers still have a shot at making the NJAC tournament, but their play needs to remain impressive throughout the remainder of the season. Their next matchup is a doubleheader in New York versus Old Westbury and NJCU. Their next home matchup is a must-win game versus Rowan University.
Thanks, Jesse. The Pioneers suffered another tough loss, this time against Frostburg State on homecoming weekend here at William Paterson. Justin, take it away.
Thank you, Chris. Let's go to Whiteman Stadium. They played against Frostburg State on homecoming this past Saturday, and it was a tough one. Here is running back for the Bobcats, Jamal Moran. He's had a great year, already eclipsed 1,000 yards, but he got stuffed at the line of scrimmage. And here's a great play coming up from defensive back Corey Morris. He prevented what could have been a touchdown and held the Bobcats to a field goal. Once again, Jamal Moran trying to make some moves on the right side of the field, but he's brought down by freshman defensive back Isaiah Hunt. Good defense from the Pioneers. Connor Cox, another talented player for his Bobcat offense. He's going to find a wide receiver over the middle, but he's brought down quickly by Corey Morris and other Pioneers. Again, some great red zone defense. This time it's by Jordan Hovington. He gets a hand on the ball. He's not having any of it. James Waldron's rolling out left, and he's going to find the wide receiver Isaiah Dews, his first catch of the day as a freshman as well. Now this right here has to be the highlight of the day. The oldest trick in the book is going to be a flea flicker. Akil Daniels-Lundy is going to find Tyler Vivian for a 52-yard touchdown, the first passing touchdown of the season for the Pioneers, and their 4th total. So this will put 7 on the board. James Waldron is going to find Tyler Vivian up the right seam once again for a nice gain. And after this, he's going to find his man Kasim Henry in the flat. He's going to fight for some extra yardage, but yards nonetheless. They would end up losing this game 59-7.
Justin, we'll start with you. What can we take away from this performance from the Pioneers?
Well, let's just take a look at the numbers real quick. I mean, if it comes down to points, it's just as simple as that. The score being 59-7, they found themselves in a hole very early in the first half, and it's a tough hole for them to dig out. We'll take a listen later with Jerry Flores. It's all about execution. 105 yards of total offense for the William Paterson Pioneers to 559 for the Bobcats. You take a look at the first down differential, 7 first downs for the Pioneers, 25 for the Bobcats. And this was the most surprising to me. Frostburg State didn't punt 1 time, and the Pioneers punted 8 times. To throw that in, William Paterson only kicked the ball off twice, and one of those times is because they had to in the beginning of the second half. It's crazy, man. It's the execution is just not there.
Justin, what did you take away?
One play they actually did execute was that phenomenal reverse play from Akil Daniels-Lundy to Tyler Vivian. They finally opened up the playbook from just a typical dive after dive draw play for the run. They finally also let James Waldron finally throw the ball, and he was efficient where he had 53% completion percentage. So at least they're opening up the playbook finally.
Douglas?
Absolutely. The one takeaway that you have to take from this game is that they were at least a little bit competitive in the second half. You have to take it going into next week. You finally scored a touchdown. It's your 4th of the season. You had been shut out the previous 10 consecutive quarters. So
Sure.
You needed points. That's encouraging. You got to take it into next week.
There are some positive, and I think it's really important for the Pioneers, the coaching staff, the teammates, all that stuff. They have to build on every positive note they could pull out from the season. I mean, again, they're 0-6. It's been a really rough year. They really have never found their footing, and they played some amazing teams in a really tough conference. So the positives they do have, few and far between. They have to build those up and go into the next week because they got 4 games left. The season isn't over yet. These seniors got to go out with something.
Like you said, though, at least the positives are enough to help them keep going forward so they don't lose focus and they can just continually get better.
Right.
Our very own Ryan Doyle had a chance to speak with some of the members of the team after the game. Let's take a listen.
We just keep telling our guys, one of the sayings that we use is trust the process. I know it's a cliche. It sounds like just something you take out of a book. But we just tell the guys every week that as long as we come to work every week to work, which they have now, to their credit, for 7 or 8 weeks. I don't even know how long we've been doing this. Just keep grinding every single day in practice. And we've had good practices. This week we had a great Wednesday practice, great Thursday practice. We just got a lot of young kids out there playing for us right now. And they're getting first-hand experience right before your eyes. So our job is to try and get better. So, what we did in the second half is what we were doing in the first half. The difference is in the second half we were executing. It's all about execution. And at the end of the day, you watch any team out there, it doesn't matter what you run, you got to execute. So we executed in the second half. So we'll keep grinding and get ready for Christopher Newport.
It's surprising. Like, you would think that we go in there and, we're pointing fingers, and no, it's not how it is. We go in there, we're the only ones at the end of the day that believe in ourselves. So we just try to go in there and stay positive, and, we're not going to lay down, we're not going to roll over. No one's giving up. So we just got to rally, amongst ourselves.
Now, fellas, what can we take away from the words of the players? Justin, we'll start with you.
I'm sorry, but one thing I gotta love, man, you just gotta trust the process. Y'all know I mess with some process. It's all about getting better every day, and if that's what they're doing in practice, that's great. But the one thing that stuck out to me the most is James Waldron. He's been the off and on starting quarterback. He's been here for 4 years. He's played multiple positions. You see him playing punter this year and quarterback. But knowing that these guys are still sticking together as a team, it's them versus everyone at this point, because they said they're the only ones that are gonna believe in themselves. So that was the most surprising to me, because I'm thinking, what's going on in the locker room when you're consistently taking big losses versus tough opponents? Are people pointing fingers at each other? Are there blames to put on people? But as long as they're sticking together, rallying as a team, and getting better every day, I think that's the most important part.
That's definitely the biggest thing, because once you're all off, like you're not on the same page, and the coach eventually loses the locker room, it's game over. You can't progress as a team, and you won't stay together.
Justin, just with you, the Pioneers are facing Christopher Newport next. What can we expect from the Pioneers? How do they match up?
Well, let's take a quick look at the season outlook. Both of these teams have had their good and bad. The Captains are one heck of an offensive team. They have 2,000 yards on the season. If you take a look at Willie P., they only have 371. They have 3 NJAC wins. The Captains, the only 2 losses were against Salisbury and Wesley, 2 really good teams, and both of those times it was single possession ball games. The biggest differential, obviously, is the touchdown to turnover ratio. For every touchdown, Willie P. has 4 turnovers, and for every 3 touchdowns, the Captains have 1 turnover. So for this game, Christopher Newport is a heavy passing offense. They're capable of moving on the ground, but they have over 1,500 yards of passing offense. So the defense on the Pioneer side, the secondary in particular, has to step up to get some stops.
Good luck to the Pioneers. That's going to do it for Pioneer football, but do not go anywhere. The soccer guys are up to talk some William Paterson soccer.